I want to start with a simple question. Why do we believe that being single is a problem? Somewhere along the way, society convinced us that a man without a girlfriend is incomplete, that his happiness, his success, and even his identity depend on being in a relationship. But what if I told you that's simply not true? See, the strongest, most fulfilled men in history, the visionaries, the leaders, the pioneers, weren't defined by their relationship status. They were defined by their purpose, by their mission. A man without a girlfriend is not a man who is lacking. He is a man with freedom, a man with time to build, a man with space to grow. The question isn't, why don't you have a girlfriend? The real question is, what are you doing with this time? Because the answer to that will determine the man you become. Society often paints being single as a temporary state of incompleteness, as if a man without a girlfriend is somehow lacking or waiting for his life to truly begin. But the truth is, being single is not a weakness. It's an opportunity, one of the most powerful stages in a man's life. It is a time of self-discovery where he has the freedom to focus entirely on himself, his goals, and his purpose, without distractions or external pressures. Instead of viewing this period as a void to be filled, it should be seen as a foundation to be built. When a man is single, he has control over his time and energy. He is not required to constantly invest in maintaining a relationship, which means he can direct that same effort towards self-improvement. This is the phase where he can push himself physically, mentally, and professionally. It's a time to develop new skills, dive into passions, and craft the life he envisions. Without the emotional highs and lows of a romantic relationship, he gains clarity about who he is and what he truly wants, rather than molding himself to fit someone else's expectations. Many of the greatest achievers in history use their time alone to sharpen their vision and build something meaningful. They understood that personal growth is a priority, not a luxury. A man who embraces his time alone learns resilience, self-sufficiency, and emotional strength. He understands his worth is not tied to another person, but to the value he creates in the world. Rather than seeking validation from a partner, he builds himself into the kind of man who naturally attracts the right person, not out of need, but from a place of abundance and confidence. Your purpose should define you, not your relationship status. Too often, men tie their sense of identity to whether or not they are in a relationship. They believe that having a girlfriend validates them, proving their worth to society, their peers, and even themselves. But the reality is, a man's value is not determined by who he is with. It is determined by what he stands for, what he builds, and the impact he makes. A relationship should never be the defining factor of a man's life. Instead, his mission, his vision, and his contribution to the world should be. When a man allows his relationship status to dictate his confidence and self-esteem, he places his emotional well-being in someone else's hands. This dependence leads to insecurity, neediness, and ultimately disappointment. True strength comes from having a clear purpose, a deep sense of direction, and the ability to stand firm in one's identity, regardless of external validation. A man who is focused on his mission in life, whether it's his career, his passions, or his personal development, exudes confidence because he is driven by something greater than temporary companionship. The most attractive and inspiring men are those who are deeply committed to their purpose. They are not waiting for a relationship to complete them. They are already complete on their own. Their sense of fulfillment comes from progress, growth, and contribution. They understand that relationships should enhance their journey, not define it. A woman should be a partner in his mission, not the mission itself. When a man prioritizes his purpose over seeking validation through a relationship, he naturally attracts people who respect and admire him for who he is, rather than what he offers in a relationship. A strong man builds himself before building a relationship. Many men make the mistake of rushing into relationships before they have truly developed themselves, emotionally, mentally, and financially. They seek love before they have cultivated self-respect, hoping that a relationship will fill the gaps in their confidence and identity. But the truth is, a man who has not built himself will always struggle in a relationship because he is relying on it to give him what he has not yet found within himself. Before stepping into a relationship, a man must first establish his foundation. This means working on his mindset, strengthening his discipline, and defining his goals. It means becoming financially stable, developing emotional intelligence, and mastering self-control. A relationship requires responsibility, patience, and leadership, qualities that cannot be developed overnight. A man who rushes into a relationship without first mastering these areas often finds himself overwhelmed, insecure, and unable to handle the challenges that come with commitment. A strong man is someone who has taken the time to understand who he is and what he wants. He does not enter a relationship out of loneliness or societal pressure, but from a place of strength and self-awareness. He has spent time improving his skills, building his career, and creating a life he is proud of. He's not searching for a partner to save him or give him direction. He already has direction. A man who builds himself first is able to offer stability, leadership, and emotional security in a relationship rather than expecting it to provide those things for him. Only when a man is whole on his own can he truly bring value to a relationship rather than becoming dependent on it for his happiness. Use this time to develop skills, mindset, and vision. Being single is not a period of waiting, it is a period of growth. Many men waste this time feeling lonely or incomplete, but the reality is this is the perfect opportunity to invest in yourself. When you are not in a relationship, you have complete control over your schedule, your priorities, and your energy. This is when you should be sharpening your skills, strengthening your mindset, and building a clear vision for your future. Skills are what separate an average man from a high-value man. Whether it's professional skills that advance your career, physical skills that improve your health, or social skills that enhance your ability to connect with people, every skill you develop adds to your value. Use this time to learn, to master something, to become irreplaceable in your field. Read books, take courses, challenge yourself. Every new skill you acquire makes you more confident, independent, and capable of handling life on your own terms. Your mindset is the foundation of your success. Without the right mentality, no amount of skill or knowledge will make a difference. This is the time to train your mind for discipline, resilience, and focus. Develop habits that push you forward, eliminate distractions that hold you back, and build a mentality of abundance rather than neediness. A strong mindset allows you to handle challenges with composure, make decisions with clarity, and move through life with purpose. Vision gives you direction. Without a clear vision, you are just moving through life without purpose. Use this time to define your goals, where you want to be in 5 years, what kind of man you want to become, and what legacy you want to leave behind. A man with a strong vision is naturally attractive, not just to women, but to opportunities, success, and personal fulfillment. Emotional independence leads to true confidence. Many men believe that confidence comes from external factors, wealth, looks, status, or validation from others. But real confidence is not built on what you have, it is built on who you are. It comes from emotional independence, the ability to regulate your emotions, stand firm in your values, and navigate life without relying on someone else to make you feel worthy. A man who is emotionally dependent on a relationship for happiness is always vulnerable. If his mood, self-esteem, and sense of purpose are tied to another person, he loses control over his own life. He becomes reactive instead of proactive, constantly seeking reassurance instead of standing strong in his own identity. This neediness creates insecurity, and insecurity weakens a man's presence, decision-making, and ability to lead himself effectively. Emotional independence means knowing how to handle challenges, setbacks, and disappointments without falling apart. It means having the ability to be alone without feeling lonely. It is about finding fulfillment in your own progress, not in someone else's validation. A man who is emotionally independent is not easily shaken by rejection, failure, or uncertainty because he trusts himself. He knows that his worth is not determined by his relationship status, but by the way he carries himself, the values he upholds, and the mission he pursues. Developing emotional independence requires self-awareness and discipline. It means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Instead of seeking comfort in a relationship, use this time to strengthen your emotional resilience. Learn to process emotions without being controlled by them, build a mindset that keeps you grounded, and develop habits that reinforce self-confidence. A man who is emotionally independent exudes confidence naturally, making him not just attractive, but truly unshakable in any situation. Society's expectations should not dictate your worth. From an early age, men are bombarded with messages about what success looks like. Having a high-paying job, driving the right car, and of course being in a relationship. There's an unspoken pressure that a man without a girlfriend is somehow failing, as if his value is determined by whether or not he is chosen by someone else. But the reality is, true worth is not measured by society's standards. It is measured by how a man defines himself. Many men fall into the trap of chasing relationships just to meet external expectations. They feel the need to prove something to friends, family, or even social media. But when you live according to what others expect, you lose control over your own direction. You begin making choices based on validation instead of purpose. And eventually you realize that no amount of approval will ever bring real fulfillment. A strong man does not seek permission to live life on his own terms. He understands that being single is not a sign of failure, but a season of growth. He refuses to let society dictate when he should settle down, who he should be with, or how his life should look. Instead, he focuses on building himself into the man he wants to be, regardless of whether others approve or not. True confidence comes from breaking free of external pressure and standing firm in your own beliefs, goals, and values. When a man stops worrying about society's expectations, he gains the freedom to create a life that genuinely fulfills him, a life based on passion, purpose, and personal excellence, not the fear of being judged for being single. A relationship should complement you, not complete you. Too often, men enter relationships with the mindset that they need someone to complete them, believing that their happiness, fulfillment, or identity is somehow lacking without a partner. But the reality is, no one else can complete you. A relationship should be the joining of two complete individuals, not an attempt to fill voids or heal wounds that should be addressed individually. When a man is seeking to be completed by a partner, he brings emotional baggage and unrealistic expectations into the relationship. He may rely too heavily on his partner for validation, happiness, and fulfillment, which creates an imbalance. A healthy relationship thrives when both individuals are self-sufficient, emotionally stable, and have their own sense of purpose. Only then can they come together to share their lives, support each other's growth, and build something powerful as a team. A strong man understands that his worth is not dependent on being in a relationship. He is already whole and confident on his own. His partner should complement his life, bringing additional love, support, and shared values, but never the role of fulfilling unmet emotional needs. When a man is whole within himself, he is able to offer more in a relationship. He's not seeking to take from it, but to contribute to it. He enters the partnership as a complete person, ready to build a life together, rather than relying on the relationship to provide him with what he's missing. The strongest relationships are those in which both partners are self-reliant, emotionally independent, and individually grounded in their purpose. They support each other's growth and ambitions, but do not depend on each other to fill the gaps. This is the foundation of a healthy, long-lasting relationship where both individuals thrive as their best selves. Focus on becoming a high-value man, not chasing validation. In a world where instant gratification and external approval often define success, many men fall into the trap of seeking validation from others, whether it's through social media likes, material possessions, or being in a relationship. But real value comes from within. A man who is truly high value doesn't chase after external validation. Instead, he invests in himself, his growth, his skills, his mindset, until his worth is undeniable, regardless of what others think. A high-value man is someone who has worked hard to become the best version of himself. He does not measure his success by the opinions of others, but by his own standards and the progress he makes toward his goals. His confidence is rooted in his ability to stand on his own, to face challenges head-on, and to create opportunities for himself. He understands that validation is fleeting, and seeking it outside of himself is a constant, exhausting pursuit. True confidence is born from knowing your worth and having the discipline to continuously improve. Rather than focusing on how others perceive him, a high-value man focuses on the things he can control: his growth, his mindset, and his contributions. He builds a life that is fulfilling, not for the purpose of impressing others, but because he values the process of becoming better. This focus on self-improvement naturally attracts the right people, including potential partners, because others are drawn to the strength, confidence, and purpose that a high-value man radiates. When you stop chasing validation and focus instead on becoming the best version of yourself, you align with a deeper sense of fulfillment. You become magnetic not because you need approval, but because you are rooted in your own value and the life you are creating. Loneliness is not about being single, it's about lacking purpose. Many men associate being single with loneliness, believing that without a partner, their life is somehow empty. But the truth is, loneliness isn't about your relationship status, it's about whether or not you have a clear purpose guiding your life. A man with purpose is never truly lonely, no matter his relationship status, because he is driven by a mission, a vision, and a set of goals that give his life meaning and direction. When a man lacks purpose, he often feels adrift, no matter how many people are around him. He might be in a relationship, yet still feel isolated, because he is not living with intention. Without purpose, a man is simply going through the motions, working a job he's not passionate about, engaging in hobbies that don't inspire him, and drifting through life without a clear direction. This creates an inner emptiness, a sense of loneliness that no external relationship can fill. Purpose, on the other hand, gives a man a reason to get up every morning. It aligns his actions with his values and fuels his ambitions. A man who is driven by purpose doesn't feel the need to fill the void with distractions or superficial connections. He is engaged in something bigger than himself, something that excites and challenges him. This sense of purpose brings fulfillment, and that fulfillment radiates outward, attracting the right people into his life. When you focus on building a life of purpose, you'll find that loneliness becomes a thing of the past. Your purpose becomes your source of strength, your constant companion, and your guide through every season of life, whether single or in a relationship. Purpose gives your life meaning and creates a natural sense of connection to the world around you. The right person comes when you are the right person. Many men spend years searching for the perfect partner, thinking that once they find her, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, the quality of the relationships you attract is directly tied to the person you've become. If you're not yet the right person for yourself, you cannot expect to be the right person for someone else. Before seeking the right partner, focus on becoming the person you would want to be with. This means developing your character, improving your mindset, and strengthening your emotional and mental resilience. When you become the right person, someone who is secure, self-sufficient, and driven by a purpose, you naturally attract the right people into your life. This isn't about perfection, it's about growth, self-awareness, and continuously working toward becoming the best version of yourself. The best relationships aren't based on neediness or desperation. They are built on mutual respect, shared values, and personal growth. When you focus on building yourself, you become a magnet for someone who shares your vision and complements your life. Instead of seeking a partner to fill a void, you begin to seek a partner who enhances the life you're already creating. A relationship based on mutual growth, respect, and shared values is far more fulfilling than one built on dependency or insecurity. When you're the right person, whole, confident, and aligned with your purpose, the right partner will naturally find their way to you. You don't have to chase them. They'll be drawn to you because of the life you've built and the person you've become. In conclusion, being single is not a limitation. It's a powerful opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and purpose. The journey of becoming the best version of yourself through building skills, developing emotional independence, and focusing on your vision is not just valuable for you, but it ultimately makes you a better partner when the right person enters your life. It's about building yourself before seeking a relationship, not as a means of validation, but as a way to bring real value to others. When you stop chasing external approval and focus on becoming a high-value man, someone who is confident, purpose-driven, and emotionally self-sufficient, you not only stop feeling lonely, you begin to live a life that naturally attracts the right people, opportunities, and success. Remember, The right partner will come when you are the right person, not out of need, but as a complement to the life you've built. Stay focused on your growth, keep your purpose clear, and understand that being single is a season of preparation, not a gap to be filled. Embrace it and watch how the right things begin to align. You are not incomplete. You are exactly where you need to be.